to another episode of the Laughter for All podcast. I am Comedian Nazareth, and thank you so much for joining us on this episode number 101. Can you believe that? We started over almost 2 years ago, and we've been going on every week when we can. When I'm not in town, I sometimes skip one show, but we've been consistent, and we are at 101 shows. So thank you so much for joining us, for staying with us, for subscribing to our um, podcast. And let's see, 101 shows. It's a commitment, and and the reason we do this show is number one, we want to entertain you. This is for entertainment. It's called Laughter for All. So I bring a lot of comedians, but also I bring physicians. I bring other people that join us to be able to benefit you, to help you out, and to give you some advice when we can. So, but today, of course, I'm going to bring a very good friend of mine. But before I introduce him, we have a sponsor that we want our sponsor to just let you know what they do. And it's the vitamins that I take personally. So I'm not going to tell you to buy something that I don't use myself and I don't stand behind it. So let's watch this.
The same products that you would be taking, the AdaptoStim, even Mental Clarity, they have ingredients in there that will adjust cholesterol. They are there to support a healthy cholesterol level in the body. So, I mean, the beauty behind the six products that I know that you have on your, probably even on your store, that you've been introduced to, is that they're very universal. They have the ability to flex in a lot of different directions. I can tell you the ImmuStem. I don't know if you have a bottle of that right there.
Yes,
but
I do. The ImmuStem is right here. Yes, this one. Yeah.
that would be something I would definitely put your friend on. That is directed towards balancing blood levels, cholesterol levels, and also helping and supporting a healthy immune system. And the same products that you would be taking.
That was Dr. Malay from the professional botanical that I use. And I got to tell you, the best thing I've been using is called the Mental Clarity, where it's just like Ritalin, but it's all natural. It's really helping me focus. Also, the other ones for energy. So, this is if you want to purchase them, you can go to basic, BAESIQ.com /pages/Nazareth. It's written here, and you can get those vitamins and be able to support our ministry, Laughter for All. All right. Well, show number one, the first ever show I did for the podcast, I said, who do I want to have my first guest? And I didn't have to think too far because Scott Wood is an amazing friend, a funny, funny guy, one of the people that make me laugh so hard. And he is, he's just funny. He's been doing comedy as long as I did, maybe a little before me, a year or so before I did, but just a hilarious guy. We had a great time on show number one, and I'm inviting him back on show 101 because he has a show that I want to tell you about. But before I do the show, let me introduce him officially. Comedian Scott Wood, Mr. Punchline, has appeared on ABC, BET, Fox, Comedy Central, and America's Got Talent. Scott's the creator, producer, and host of the new TV cooking show featuring stand up comedians called Something Smells Funny, currently streaming on Tubi TV. Scott's new dry bar comedy special, Mr. Punchline, will be released nationwide in January 2022. Outrageously funny, Scott's clean comedy and voice impressions have been keeping audiences laughing for more than 30 years. He is so funny. I'm going to have him, but let's watch a trailer of the show, of the cooking show.
Let's talk about the show Chuck. You played Big Mike.
That was a lot of fun. You can't zest and talk at the same time?
Yeah, you know.
It's a cooking show, Scott. This is cooking has to happen.
There's a comic in the kitchen. It's time for Something Smells Funny.
Hey, welcome to Something Smells Funny, the cooking show with stand-up comics.
Everybody steals Dana Carvey's impressions.
I've never done that. Never, not gonna do it.
My parents made me become a comedian.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to be a lawyer or a doctor. And they said, no, we want a failure in the family.
Okay,
so,
great.
Now, did you personally cut the cheese or no?
No.
Okay. Because something smells funny, Bobby.
You want to break them down really good, so make sure you crush them. It looks like you just like fondling them. Crush them, Scott.
Nobody ever asks me about my culinary skills.
They don't?
No, ever.
This will be the blonde leading the blonde, okay, people? Well, what does that do?
Let's
Anything
go
at all?
to the bathroom really quick.
Okay, yeah. Food can kill you. My uncle got run over by Meals on Wheels. Can you believe that? This is gonna be delicious. It's a half-hour show, Victoria. I don't know. Like we did with Play-Doh and sand at the beach.
See how that looks?
She'll be so impressed if I did this.
She would be. She'd be impressed that you're actually in the kitchen.
That does look, I'm gonna be honest, it looks sick and disgusting, Jimmy. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I've been wanting to bite this since you got here.
Well, you don't just bite it, Scott. You take a fork.
Well, I wasn't gonna just go face down like a pig. Someone should invent silverware.
Super Popeye spinach explosion will make you big and strong. What's love got to do?
And to all of our viewers, we'll see you next time on Something Smells Funny. Thanks, everybody. This is so good.
Oh, that is amazing. I love the idea. I love the show. Welcome, please, my good friend, Scott Wood. Scott, welcome.
Hey, Naz and everyone. Alan, Javier, Bobby Miller, thanks for all the shout outs and everyone. Man, you guys are the best. Everyone's on here. Thanks for having me. From show 1 to 101. What took so long? You needed
well, the other 99 guests.
Yes. I almost said 100. Oh. That's how bad at math I am. Whatever happened to the other 200 episodes? No.
Scott, when did you get the idea and when did it materialize for the cooking show?
In 2015, I got the idea after I had a heart attack. I went to the hospital. I'm all good now. And by the way, I don't recommend them. If you're thinking about having one, don't. When I had the heart attack, you're supposed to chew aspirin. So I chewed up a couple aspirin. When I looked at the bottle, it said Midol. So, yeah, people are going to say, oh, he died of a heart attack and he had cramps. But anyway, but so I had the idea and I started just toying with it because I'm a foodie. I love to eat. And of course, there's great cooking shows. And I said to myself, man, they should do like a cooking show, but make it funny with stand-up comedians where you could interview them. And I go, well, Scott, boom, why not? And it all happened. I came up with the title, Something Smells Funny. I got on the phone with my comedy friends, and not just the 4 you saw, but so many others are ready to come on, like Joey Medina, Paul Rodriguez, Tom Dreesen, you. I mean, I want everyone on. I want to have everyone come on. And then 2 years ago in 2019, we filmed it in August. Of course, COVID hit, but that was okay. We were able to edit it down and make it, to 4 22-minute episodes. We found a distributor. We found some great people who say, yes, let's get this on Tubi. And they're also looking at IMDb, Amazon, Hulu. But it only took 24 months almost to the date. So COVID couldn't stop us. But now we're streaming on Tubi TV. It's a live streaming network. It's free. It's a free app you can upload on any device. And so if you love to laugh and you love to eat, man, Something Smells Funny. So we hope you tune in on Tubi TV.
Now, how long does it take to tape one show?
We did 2 episodes a day. So it was a full day, 8 to 10 hours. So it took around 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours. It's going to go a little quicker now because then we didn't know what we were doing, even though you can't tell, thanks to editing, and they fix it in post. But it took about maybe 3 or 4 hours per each episode with stops and starts. And we had a live audience, and it was so much fun.
Where did you guys shoot it at?
We shot it in the executive producer's home up in Redlands. He has a big, beautiful house up there and a giant kitchen. And that's Dr. Timothy Watson. He's my dear friend. He's a doctor. And he just thought the idea was great because he believes in healthy cooking and good food, and he loves to laugh, and he's got a great sense of humor. He's been my kid's pediatrician for the last 21 years since they were both children. Him and I hit it off because he's super funny. He's kind of like Patch Adams, if you will, the doctor that had that great sense of humor. Robin
I
Williams.
saw the movie.
Yeah. So he's like that. And he said, Scott, this is great. So what a blessing, Naz, that he put all the money into it. He put every single dime into it, even paid me, paid the comics. It was a 4-camera shoot. And as you can see, it was just done really high quality. And we were able to get it to Indie Films. And Indie Films already had some shows already on some networks. Including a few cooking shows too, but they weren't, they had nothing to do with comedy. So they really liked it. And so we're super excited about that. So we hope everyone tunes in.
Have you considered Comedy Central?
You know what we have? We're going to take it to them, and we're also taking it to Magnolia, which is brand new on Discovery Plus. So, back in the day, like you said, you and I have known each other for over 30 years. And back then, even when you were growing up, there was very limited. There wasn't even cable or cell phones, right? So, but now we're so blessed to have so many different. There must be like thousands, wouldn't you agree, of different networks and streaming networks and platforms. And so it's a little bit easier. It's still kind of tough. I still think I'm very blessed to have anything on TV because, as you know, it's really hard because we tried a sitcom and then I wrote a screenplay for a movie that got real close, but it didn't happen. But I think this is the one because I just get to be me. I don't have to be a character. I just get to be me and silly and goofy, and I get to talk to comedians because I love comedians, and we get to make something to eat. And so I just think the two together, it's where comedy and cooking collide.
Now, how many times did the comedian have to cook the meal, or they have to repeat it or do it again?
A couple of times. I always know what they're going to bring on. So they tell me ahead of time what dish they'd like to make. We, of course, the show has all the ingredients. We had the showrunners, producers, co-producers. We had everyone. They had a big, huge staff involved to get all the prep ready. If it had to be refrigerated or frozen, as you can see, they had everything ready. So we were really excited. So it wouldn't take so long. And we just kind of, just talked and I just help them make it, whether I chop or dice, or they want me to throw something in a blender. And while I'm interviewing them, so we just get to eat and laugh. So it's kind of like a talk show in the kitchen. And I get to do a funny monologue right up front, a couple of minutes of stand up, kick it to a commercial. When we come back, we show a clip of the comedian, bring them out. And for the next 20 minutes, we just talk and cook and eat and laugh.
So it has to be a meal that can be done in 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's real quick. Of course, well, most meals, on these cooking shows, they had a lot, they do it and then ta-da.
That's right. They cook something.
They have one already made. But for ours, we pretty much made it right there on the spot. They're real simple recipes. Victoria brought a nice salad on. Jimmy Brogan did he did a 5-minute bachelor hummus. Because I think you do hummus, right?
I do the best hummus, but then again, if someone else did it on the show, I think it'll be battle of the hummuses.
You know what? And why not? Plus, I know you do a sweet and sour camel.
Yes. Oh yeah. I'll do that.
Yes.
Do you have room? How big is the kitchen? I can bring.
Well, it's a 2-humper, so we can bring the whole thing in. We can bring the whole. It doesn't have to be the 1-hump camel. If he's got both, we can bring it in. We can put him on the Barbie.
So what do you think Dr. Fauci thinks of your cooking show?
Dr. Fauci's actually here, believe it or not. Let me bring him in.
Really? I can't be serious with Scott.
I'm too short. Hold on. There we go. Hello, I'm Dr. Fauci with another COVID update, or as I like to call it, who sneezed? As you know, my friend recently caught the Delta on Southwest. Plus, in case we just found out the coronavirus was started by a young Asian gentleman named Ah Chu.
Fauci.
Well, good job, man. That's good job. Listen, let me ask you this. 30 years ago.
Trump is here.
Oh, no. Trump is back.
Naz, tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. I love the Middle Eastern people. I love it. I just had a burrito. I don't know if that's you or not.
Is he playing the accordion?
That's funny.
Okay.
Let me ask you this question before
Yes,
you go
sir.
to a different character. 30 years ago, where did you think your career would be now?
Gosh, well, I hoped it would be where it is, full time. I can actually sum up my career in 3 words: straight to video. And when I say video, Naz, I'm talking beta. If you have an 8-track player, my career is huge. No, you know what? As a kid, I wanted to be a full-time comic. It's been a full-time career for 32 years. And I just wanted to just travel, make people laugh, colleges, cruise ships, corporate, churches, clubs, you name it. And I've been doing that for 30 years. It's been a great career. And, and who knows, maybe the TV show will lead to other things, but I've been super happy and super blessed to be where I'm at. And so, I'm happy. It's
But
good.
honestly, didn't you think you wanted to be a lot bigger than the? I mean, don't we all? Or is this
We do.
just
We do. We
do,
want to
yeah.
be so much bigger. But if it's your age, we had the same agent for years, and I tell you, if it wasn't for them, I'd be much more successful.
Guys, if you want to know why I'm laughing, this guy makes me laugh all the time. I remember we used to drive around
Mhm.
and we'll do Chuck Smith and Raw Reese and all these guys. People don't know who they are, but and Greg Laurie and all these
Right.
guys. But what do you call it? You've always been on all
Yeah.
the time,
Yeah.
but there's always something behind that.
Mhm.
I don't know. You're trying to hide something. You're not trying to hide anything, but there's a hurt little kid in there. Is there? Is he there? Is he still there? Or
Well,
does that make sense?
yeah, it does. It does. And for those who really know me, I love to wear women's clothing. But no, I'm just kidding. Inside this, I'm in my late 40s. I'm 60. But I've always had the heart of a child, a little kid, with the comedy, the impressions, like all comics. And, my parents drank when I was young. They divorced when we were little. I was like in the 3rd grade. My sister was in the 2nd grade. So what is that? 6, 7 years old, 8 years old. And, so we moved around a lot and spent one year with my dad. And then, he didn't really want us. I mean, the relationship is better now. But yeah, it was kind of a turbulent childhood, and I didn't really care for school. And I was truant a lot because all I wanted to do was like, I don't need this. I'm funny. I'm going to be a comedian. I wanted to, get out of there and get to the clubs and start doing,
Wow.
all
So
the jokes.
that early, you wanted to be a comedian.
Yes, 4th grade. 4th grade. I was doing jokes in elementary school, and I was doing impressions and cartoon voices. And then, of course, I would sneak late at night, to peek around the corner when, at home to see the Tonight Show with Johnny, or the Merv Griffin in the afternoon, or Mike Douglas, or all these guys that had everyone on: Norm Crosby, Rodney, Bob Hope, Phyllis Diller, Joan Rivers, Henny Youngman, Jack Benny. The list goes on. All my influences are all the comedians that are dead, to be honest with you. I mean, we just lost Norm Crosby and Jackie Mason earlier this year, but all those guys influenced me, from Rodney to Henny, Joan Rivers, Don Rickles, all the old greats, the one-liners, the quick.
Right.
If this doesn't work, they would do anything to get a laugh. A shtick, fall down, funny faces, impressions, one-liners, and that's what I do in my act. Whether it's a quick prop or whatever. I just want to make people laugh. I think that's what I'm here. The reason I'm here, number one, as a Christian man, is to love and serve God. And number two, to use that gift that he's given me for humor to just touch other people's lives, just like you do, with your stand-up and your podcast. And when we meet people, we just, I just want to make people laugh. So yes, in a sense, I'm always on. And if someone's talking about something and I have a quick little joke and I throw it in and it makes a little group of people laugh, I mean, hey, if making people laugh is wrong, I don't want to be right.
But you know what? Every time I work with you, I know you're going to kill. I know the audience dying.
Oh, thank you.
And one time I had to follow you. And I think we were somewhere in like San Clemente or something.
Mhm.
And I really was concerned. Normally, I'm not concerned who I follow, but I was really concerned. I'm like, the audience is dying. They're literally holding their stomach. They're crying because there's no time for people to even say, that good. No, you go from one joke to another. You're Mr. Punchline.
Yes.
And you do it so fast. And so now when you do impressions, start from zero. Let's say there's a new person that comes in the scene. Can you do Biden? Is Biden?
Now, I'm glad you said that. Biden is new, and I have his walk, and I have his face, because he always looks like he's looking into the sun. Oh, come on, man. Come on. COVID, man. He's almost George W. Bushish, a little bit. Hey, come on. Because, George W. Bush. Hey, America. It's good to be here. I feel like I'm up a tree without a paddle. I know I'm not the sharpest bulb in the knife drawer, whatever that means. But so yeah, I'm working on Biden. Biden's got that old man. We have a new president, which means out with the old, in with the older.
What's the process? I mean, from zero, okay. Let's say we get a new president tomorrow, or after, and you start watching them. How many times do you watch them? What do you look for so you can do them?
Mannerisms, the facial expressions, hand gestures, tone of their voice, the way they breathe.
With Donald Trump, it's absolutely tremendous. It's back here. It's the lip. You know what I'm saying? It's this face or it's this face. So it's just a lot of different things that you have to, if it's Forrest Gump, you got to be super slow. My mama said, life is like a date with a transvestite. You never know what you're going to get. But, so you just have to kind of, hone in on some of the nuances of their voices and stuff. I love to do Liam Neeson from Taken. I want you to listen to very carefully, Nazareth. I will find you. I will find you. Hello, Steve. So he's got that Irish, he's got that Irish brogue. He's from Ireland. So you've got to do that bit of a rough Irish brogue when you do Liam Neeson. So there's that, Stallone, hey, yo, right, with the face, hey. So it's a lot of different stuff. And plus I do Nazareth. Hey, this is Nazareth. Welcome to my podcast. I'm so excited to have Scott Wood. My camera is double parked. So, I do a little Naz. I don't know. That's the worst Nazareth.
Yeah, that's the worst Nazareth.
It's the worst.
What? It's a lot of work. It's not something like people, do it easy. There's a lot of work because you get their voices right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if I'm not watching your facial expression and your gestures, you get the voice right, and you're very good at it. So it's a lot of work. It's not an easy thing. So how long do you think some people takes like like Trump? Maybe I'm not saying easy, but I mean it's easier because he's a character. But some people are like what's his name, Liam Neeson. I mean that nobody does Liam Neeson. I haven't seen any.
Oh yeah, there's a few guys that do it, but it's just latching on to that little like Morgan Freeman. Hello, I'm Morgan Freeman, and my voice is so deep, I got a hernia. I'm doing a brand new movie where I'm driving around Hillary Clinton called Driving Miss Crazy. So, who was kind of hard to get that I have now is from those dinosaur movies is yes, of course, I Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum. There's a dinosaur in my apartment.com. Change your apartment, don't get eaten.
Is that him from the apartment.com? It's another guy that looks like him.
Yes, of course. Nazareth is from apartments.com. So,
that's Jeff Goldblum, the guy from Jurassic Park?
Yes.
I thought it was a different guy. That's him, yeah.
No, it's our ex-governors. It's actually Arnold Schwarzenegger. Listen to me. This is Arnold in the palm, in your huge, in your wimp, in your nothing. Get down! Get down!
Have you ever done?
Remember, all he said was "get down." I want to go pillow shop.
Yeah.
Arnold, what kind of pillow should I buy, Arnold? Get down, because they're soft.
Can you do the pillow guy? The guy that got himself in trouble, Mister. No.
What is his name? Yeah, he's the pillow guy. Sort them up. My Pillow.
Yeah, My Pillow guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
See, it has to be someone famous,
Right?
So you can invest the time. So how long does it take you from beginning to really getting them good? How long? How many months, weeks, days?
Some can come right away within moments. Right when I left in 1976, when I walked out of the first Rocky movie, I was doing Stallone right away. Right? Because it's really right. You know what I mean? I follow you. Right? I mean you. Right? But then others take a little bit of time. Like Biden is still taking some time. Jeff Goldblum took a little time. So some are easier than others. Sometimes it takes a few days, few weeks. And a good thing that a lot of impressionists do, or at least I do, is I might find another impressionist who's doing that impression, kind of listen to see what they heard or what they've tapped into that I didn't tap into. I go, oh, I see. It's the breathing, or he's got that little bit of lisp, and I'm not doing that. So I'll kind of listen to theirs as well, and then kind of perfect it a little bit, and then go ahead and then just take it from there. But a lot of times it's pretty easy for me to pick up on a voice.
Now, you have the sweetest wife, Yanni.
Maybe.
Yanni's... Maybe.
Just kidding.
You know better. You
know,
better.
she's really sweet. She is. She's sweet and nice and cute and fun when we're out in public. But behind closed doors, Nas, have you ever seen Waiting to Exhale? Anyway. I'm joking.
This is funny. Now, she's African American. You came up with the funniest thing when you said Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
And people didn't understand. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, his wife is African American. Now, how difficult was that in the beginning? How long you guys been married?
We've been married for 25 years. We've been happy for 2. And yes, and Black Wives Matter. My wife's African American. That means I'm Black owned. So I married a sister from the hood. They say men are from Mars, women are from Venus. My wife is from Compton. So I just want you to know that.
And how was that difficult in the beginning? Was your family or her family?
There she is.
She is a beautiful woman.
I don't know if we can even catch.
Yeah, now we can hear. Just stop it. Oh, okay. That's stop right there. That's Yanni, and she's amazing.
She is amazing. And amazing. I mean, she's awesome. So I married my best friend, and when that didn't work out, I met Yanni. You know what? And Yanni, she's a pack rat. She's a hoarder. I finally convinced her to at least throw out her first husband. Because we don't have the room, Naz.
I understand. No.
And what a cook my wife. How do you burn Jell-O? What a cook.
No, what was it like? What was that like? Was there any conflict? I mean, this is sad. We're 2021, but I mean, it just asking.
There was. We've known each other. We in 84, I believe, or 85, and we started dating a few years after that. And even back in the late 80s and early 90s, we used to get a lot of looks. But seriously, as a mixed couple. And it was, it was kind of weird. Either the black guys would look at me like, why do I have a black wife? Or the white women might look at Yanni kind of weird. A lot of my black friends asked me why I had a black wife. And I said, because you took all the white women. If I'm being,
so you can get away with those.
I can get away with that. But everyone's mixed, and I love it because we have a friend who's Jewish. His wife is Japanese, and they named their daughter Sosumi.
Hey,
These are the jokes. By the way, don't forget to shout out to all of our listeners. All 6 of them are on, from Sarah Allen to Bobby. Thank you so much.
we have 67 people watching right now, and we probably get 1,480 people listening.
Great.
After, yeah. So, question: how did you come to know the Lord Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and how old were you? And you have a great testimony with drugs and all that. Take your time with that.
I will. I was saved by Grace. Her full name is Grace Johnson. She prayed over me. I said, Grace, what do I need to do? And no, she, as a young man, like I said, I didn't want to go to school. I came from a broken family. Thanks for laughing, Naz. At least someone's laughing. But anyway, I'm just kidding. I see all the crying face emojis. I'm killing 5 emojis. But no, I got involved in drugs and alcohol, and I did all the drugs, and I drank as a young man all through my 20s, and I got drunk. I only drank to get drunk. I partied. I started dealing drugs. My whole life, during my early 20s, was messed up. In the early 80s, from 1979, I don't even remember the 80s. I went from 1979 to 1990, and then but some friends were sharing with me a single mom and her daughter, and they lived down the street from where I lived. It was a drug house. I was dealing drugs, getting drunk. People were coming and going all day long. You obviously knew what was going on, and but they knew I was a comedian, and I used to make them laugh, and some people in the neighborhood, and they knew that my dream was to be a comedian. But they said, Scott, you're going nowhere. Look, all you're doing is drinking. You're drunk all the time. You're doing all the drugs. How are you ever going to get ahead of life? You need Jesus. You need something better than yourself. Because I tried to quit. Many times I tried to quit. A lot of people do, but we go right back to it, because it has that hold on us. So I went to Calvary Chapel, 1984 in West Covina, Pastor Raul Reese. And it was on the very first night I went. I think it was a midweek service. And he's up there saying, you're lost. You're an alcoholic. You're doing drugs. You need Jesus. You're running with the wrong crowd. And he was just speaking to me one-on-one, At least that's what I felt. And my heart was going 100 miles an hour. And I thought, this is what I need. I'm not going anywhere on my own. I keep trying to get away from the drugs and all the alcohol. I can't do it on my own. I go for a few days, and next weekend there's another party, and there I am again I would pass out, Naz. I would pass out at parties. I was so drunk. So many times I remember being just, passing out and waking up, and it was just a horrible life. But once I said a simple prayer and I just invited Christ into my life, I said, I know you're real, but just show yourself real to me. Come into my life, break these chains. And he did. And right away, I didn't want to go back to any of the drugs. I didn't want to drink anymore. I stopped dealing drugs. I moved back home with my mom for a while, and until I could get a regular job. And then from there, just in the early 80s, 1984, in fact. And that's when I started going from, driving all the way out to Hollywood every night. I would work a regular job during the day, like a lot of us would do, like you and all the other. Yeah, I would drive out to the Comedy Store, the Improv, the Laugh Factory. You try to pick a number, you wait in line, you go on at 10, 11 o'clock at night to nobody, but you're getting your act together, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a new black and white headshot, a business card. So I was really motivated. Once I got clean and sober, I could think more clearly. My comedy got funnier. I could write, and so I never looked back. And that was in 84, and it went full time in 89. So I was making enough money as a comedian, doing a lot of private events and different shows, as much as I was making as a cook or a custodian. I was a custodian for a while at a high school. I worked for 2 different restaurants as a cook, and then again by night I would trek out to Hollywood in hopes that my dream would come true, that one day I would get paid for making people laugh. And so it's been a great career, meeting great people like you, and just super excited.
When was the first gig you got paid for? What was that? Remember that?
Gosh, I don't know. Now you're going way back. It was probably just some little, I remember a few little small backyard parties and a couple of events. And back then it's the same money as we're making now. So
After the COVID, right?
yeah, it's too bad. It's sad when you go, you know what? When you say the good old days and you were talking about the 90s, that's really sad to me. But it's with I tell all the comedians, and if you're listening and you're a comic or you're starting out, remember, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You got to keep going, keep write and perform. Get in front of everybody. Whether it's a backyard party, like you, I've done it all. Bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, weddings, backyard parties, private events, bowling alleys. Remember after the big comedy club boom and they went away and then it came back and then everyone had a club. Every bar, bowling alley, everybody. If you had a microphone and a blank wall, you're like, oh, we can do comedy. Just plug in the mic.
Bowling alleys, yes.
Yeah. You and I, we've done it all. I remember meeting you in the mid to late 80s. We did America's
funniest video. I was juggling grenades to be on the show, and it was okay back then.
And you remember you were doing about Castro with Castro oil. Remember the can of Castro oil?
No, I remember I used to put a bandana like Arafat and juggle grenades, but that was a good old day. But it's funny. What makes Scott Wood angry?
That's a good question. I don't have a lot of patience, so when I'm driving, I don't like people who don't know how to drive. I hate waiting for people because I'm always on time. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, you're fired. But anyway, so probably patience is one of my pet peeves that can kind of get me mad. Not having enough time to wait around for stuff. And people who don't do their jobs. I see people who are working or salespeople, or when we go out to eat, and that just happened where the girls up front, the hostesses and all that, they weren't even, I don't even know why they're not even fired. When you and I go on stage, I give it 110%. I don't care if there's 20 people or 2,000 people. I love what I do, and I'm just going to go and make you really laugh. I wish everyone would do that, whether it's a hostess, a cook, a mechanic. Just if you're going to do, if you're doing what you love, then really do it. Really do it.
That's funny because that's exactly. And if you ask Maha what makes Nazareth angry, it's two things. Number one, people who are slow and taking their time and you have to walk behind them or drive behind them. And number two, when people don't do their job. And I keep telling Maha, I said, if people don't do, I do my job and I expect people at least to halfway do their job right. That's amazing. Now, what would be your best audience?
Oh boy, gosh, everyone. It's hard to pick because, like, even the last weekend, I had a show on Friday and 2 on Saturday, and they were great. The audience was incredible, especially now, as after COVID, and we're kind of trying to lighten up a little bit. Everyone's coming out. The shows are packed. People can't wait to laugh. And this Saturday, I'm doing 2 shows at the San Dimas Civic Auditorium. It's a big theater out there in the city of San Dimas, California. I'm doing the Legends of Doo-Wop with the Coasters and all Susan Young and the Tokens and all the great bands of the 50s and 60s. And I do a lot of those, the Drifters, the Coasters. I've opened up for, oh my gosh, Debbie Reynolds, Chubby Checker, Frankie Avalon, Brooks and Dunn, Donna Summer, all the artists. I love those shows. The concert shows are great because you can just do some quick jokes in between each band and keep it going and keep it fun. Yeah. But to me, all the shows are great. I love every audience I get in front of.
Is Donna Summer still around?
Who's that?
Donna Summer still around?
No, she passed several years ago.
But was she singing
yes. We were at the Grove Theater in Anaheim. You know the Grove, right? Yeah, and she did a big show, and I was her opener. And that was another great show, because they come to have a good time. Although I did a show last week, they were so drunk they didn't even know I was there, and that was a weird church. I'll be honest with you on that one. That was a Catholic church in Vegas. I think Our Lady of the Designated Driver. Anyone been to that one?
Do you still do shows like at bars or people drinking? Do you
Mhm.
do that?
Yeah, still.
I don't know. I can't. I just
Mhm.
can't. I'm like I can't handle people who drink in especially at the show. I just can't handle it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well,
Yeah. I mean,
I just come out really strong, right there.
yes.
Hey, some of those shows you just have to really kick it up a notch. And if they're loud, you get loud, or you just gotta really grab them. You just gotta do whatever it takes. You reach into that comedy bag of tricks and just you pull out all the stops.
Right. Now, if I remember correctly, your daughter is in the military or she went in the military?
No, she is not. I'm actually a former Navy. I was fired from Old Navy.
Do you get the veterans discount and veteran
I do.
privileges?
Well, no, but I do get cheap sweatshirts, so I'm excited about that. No, our daughter, no military. She's 21. She's out of the house. Our son is almost 15. Our son is 14 and he's 6'2". It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
You're
haircuts.
tall, Hunter.
Oh, haircuts are easy. I just shove him under the ceiling fan. It's nuts. 6'2". I got him smoking 2 packs a day. And listen, Naz, he won't stop eating. He looks for food. He even answers phone calls that say potential spam.
Bobby's asking, is there tickets still available for your San Dimas event?
Yes, you can go to Affordable Music Productions. It's also on my Facebook page. I just posted it you'll see the flyer there on my Scott Wood page. Affordable Music Productions. It's the Legends of Doo-Wop. All the great artists of the 50s and 60s, and then I'll be hosting, and I'm really excited about that. These are such fun shows at the San Dimas Theater there in the city of San Dimas, California. So go there. Bobby Miller's giving me the thumbs up. Yeah.
And now, how often do you change your act? I mean, what's the speed of changing your act? Like if someone sees you this year and sees you in 2 years, how much of that show is different?
Probably 20-25%. And what makes it a little bit different is I'm always writing all the time, 3, 4, 5 jokes a day. But lately I've noticed in the last 5 years to 8 years, it's a lot of crowd work, a lot of improv with the audience. I did an hour show a couple of weeks ago, and 25 minutes of that show was nothing but just talking to the audience. And sometimes that stuff is even funnier than the stuff I wrote. When everything lines up and there's a doctor or some guy in a crazy shirt or it's just perfect, and you're getting the laughs. But with every new audience, it's always kind of new because I always, I'm Rodney Dangerfield and I'm Don Rickles, kind of that mix. The one-liner plus I go after the audience, in all good fun though. I never
yeah, I've never seen anybody get upset at you. I mean, you're always, they love your joke, but it's the same thing for me. Like I did. I was in Chicago this last weekend. And yeah, I did about 20 some minutes. I think we do it for ourselves because sometimes we get bored of doing the act.
Right.
And we do. And it's funnier because, it just comes out from your head and people are laughing and enjoying.
Yeah, it's in the moment. It's in the moment, so I love it.
So when are you going to tape another episode of the Something Smells Funny?
That's a good question. Let me check on that. We don't know. Okay. Well, right now, all 5 episodes. Is that 5? Yeah. All 5 episodes are streaming on Tubi TV. The ratings are coming in. They have big sponsors. As if you watch it, you'll see some of the commercial sponsors are really big. So there is going to be. They have it for 3 years. That's how it works. The distribution company holds the show for 3 years. They get it out there to as many different platforms as they can. They find the sponsors, like with you and your sponsor. And so we should start seeing some money around February. August to February is like around 6 months. And then we're just going to see what happens. The more people tune in, and the other more platforms they put it on. We're just hoping to start filming some more. So I'd like to say that we're going to start filming more towards the end of the year. It looks like we are. I've got some big name comics at the ready. The executive producer is ready. The numbers look pretty good. And also, if you've seen the show, well, two things. You can go to Facebook and go to Something Smells Funny and give us the old thumbs up, the like. But it's but if you do see it and you go, man, I want to see more, you can always email Tubi TV at PR. That's the letter P and the letter R. PR at tubitv.com. That's TUBI. PR at tubitv.com. We've had a lot of friends and family members email them and say, we love the show and we want more. And that will really help us out as well. So, but give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow me on Mr. Punchline or King of the Clean One-Liners on Instagram. But yeah, we're just really happy about the show because it's food and it's cooking and you know, I mean, what else?
And you work for two kitchens, right? You work for two restaurants, so you kind of get an idea of what.
Right.
Now, are you an executive producer? So if the
Yes.
more shows, the more people, you make more money. That's good.
Yes, I'm the creator, the host, and the producer. So I had those three hats on, and then we had the executive producer, Tim Watson, and then we had a few other people behind the scene as well, some producers. But yeah, I'm creator, producer, and host, and so I'm really excited about that. And like I said, it all came together. So go there, give us a watch, and let me know what you think.
Now, during the pandemic, I'm sure I had you on the show before the pandemic started. So during the pandemic, what kept you going? With no shows, you're home, you can't go anywhere.
Right.
What kept you going, Scott?
In a word,
Honestly.
booze. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I don't drink anymore, Naz. I don't drink any less, but I don't drink anymore. I'm just kidding. I'm old. Are you kidding me? Before the show, I was doing Geritol shooters. But what kept me going was I did a lot of writing. I did more comedy writing over the 13, 14, 15 months than I ever did before. I did a lot of posting of those jokes all over for feedback. I'm a cartoonist, which we can talk about. I just, besides a cartoon, I draw my own cartoons and I have my funny one-liners with them. However, I just hooked up with a new cartoonist who's really good, and his name is Jim Brinkley. So I'm giving a shout out to Jim Brinkley. So if you do go to my Facebook page, the Scott Wood Facebook page, you'll see a lot of his drawings with my funny one-liners underneath. And we're putting together a book right now.
That's awesome.
I think we're going to call it from the stage to the page. It's a comedian's comics. So so I did a lot of cartooning, a lot of writing. I wrote for a lot of comedians. I wrote a bunch of stuff for Paul Rodriguez, a lot, because we're friends, and so he bought all kinds of jokes and a few other comics I wrote for. I did a lot of reading. I love reading. My comedy library is about 300 books strong, and I'm always collecting. In fact, all those books you have behind you, I have all those books.
Yes.
So yeah, I got about 300 books, all the biographies, autobiographies. I mean, I have books that are 70, 80 years old from comics like Fred Allen and Joey Adams and Milton Berle, 60-year-old books. So I've got so I did a lot of reading, writing, and but no arithmetic. I'm lousy at math. I thought calculus was that stuff on your teeth. I'm telling you, my dentist said I don't floss enough. He's crazy. I don't floss at all.
That's funny. My favorite, Yuval, I don't know if people remember him. Ted Koppel was, you killed me every time.
Here we go. Let's bring him on. Hello, I'm Ted Koppel, and this is Constipation. Tonight, Nazareth in the round. Good evening, America. I'm Tom Brokaw for NBC9 News. He always sounds like he's drunk. Good evening, America. I'm Tom Brokaw. And I just want to say, I'm Tom Brokaw.
Who's your who do you look up to as an impressionist, a comedian, or someone you look up to? You go, wow, this guy's great.
Well, for me, it was all the old guys who are no longer with us. It was my hero was Rodney Dangerfield. I got to meet him years ago. He autographed. I got an autographed album. I got his first book, which is full of jokes that he autographed. We went to go see him twice. We had tickets, but both times he canceled because he had brain surgery. Then when he got better, he had open heart surgery. So I never got to, I got to meet him and talk to him, but I never got a chance to see him live. I did see Jackie Mason live on stage. I love Jackie, Rodney, Henny. The females for me were Joan Rivers, Phyllis Diller, all those old one-liners, quick guys. But right now, of course, I love Ray Romano. I love Jay Leno. I love Jim Gaffigan. I love Brian Regan.
Yes, Brian Regan.
Although, yeah, those guys are. I love Dennis Regan, and other comics that are out there. I love all comics. I just think that we're all out there doing our thing and making people laugh and bringing some joy. But all the old comics are the ones that I really, really looked up to. And so, and now I think they're all gone with the passing. And we just lost, Norm Macdonald.
Yes. Oh,
so funny. Just that crazy, dry wit, that just weird kind of, I like things that are weird and off-centered, like my humor, just kind of twisted and, weird, like the Sosumi and all that. Jokes, like I say, like when I was a kid, I always got, like my dad was going to spank me naked, but I got out of the house before he got undressed. I go one way and then go the other, right?
Yeah,
so that's the kind of weird humor that I like. But one quick, we just found out our dog is Jewish. Someone rang our doorbell. We heard, oi, 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 oi. We're closed. So that was weird. It didn't get any laughs, but it's weird.
We're gonna get canceled. I know it. Listen,
we can only hope.
Who's your favorite impressionist? Someone that does impressions.
Well, I grew up with Rich Little. So Rich Little was one of my all-time favorites. I love Frank Caliendo. He's incredible. You and I both had a dear, dear friend named Steve Bridges, who is no longer with us.
Yes.
He passed away years ago, almost 10 years ago. And him and I were best friends. He was my best man at my wedding.
I remember.
Yeah. So he was of course, and you knew him. You were friends, and he did some great impressions. So those guys, I really and there's a few others that I see online. I can't think of their name, but there's a few really good impressionists out there. So it's hard to go ahead.
What do you say to young people who are thinking about getting into the comedy business? I know it's different now.
Don't follow me. That's number one, as you know. No, I'm just kidding. I tell them, look, first of all, get into it because you love it. Don't get into it because you have 5, 6, or 10 minutes of hilarious comedy and you're going to try to use that as a stepping stone for acting or movies. If it happens, it happens, and that's super great. You and I got into it because we have to get in front of people and make them laugh. It's just inbred. It's that compulsion to get up on stage and make people laugh. And when it's good and it's hot and it's cooking, it's that volleyball kind of tennis, joke, laugh. And that's why I do it. So number one, get into it because it's your passion. Number two, if you're good, the money will follow because cream always rises to the top. But the only way to get good is to dedicate yourself to the craft of comedy writing. You've got to write all the time. I probably write, like I said, at least 3 to 5 new jokes every single day. Now, you do 5 jokes, right, times 7 days a week. What is that, 35?
You do it 7 days a week? 7?
Every day, I write 3 to 5 new jokes every single day. I have volumes and volumes of notebook paper and stuff in my phone, which is where I do it now. And you want to do that. You want to either put it in your, speak the jokes into your phone, into your Samsung Notes, or write it down because you don't want to forget it. So if something strikes you funny, I have a paper and pen in my car, by my bed, in my office. I have my phone if something, or if I'm out with friends, I got to jot it down on a napkin. All the greats did that. Joan Rivers, just because you want to remember it, and then you just want to put it all together in your act. You want to make sure it flows. But again, be dedicated, write, get in front of people. And here's something I like to tell people. Listen, be real honest with yourself. Write out all your jokes and look at them. And then when you do them in front of an audience, remember the laugh that it got. And this was told to me by my friend Gene Parrott. Gene Parrott was Bob Hope's head writer, and he wrote for Carol Burnett and all the great artists. I don't know where you went, but you're no longer there.
I'm just changing. Hold on.
It's a black screen. He's gone African American. There you go. Now you're low. Were you changing shirts? What happened? But you know what he said? He said, Scott, be your own worst critic. He said, you got to go through your act with each joke that you've written down. And he says, you need to give them a number. 5 is the best. 1 is the worst. A number 5 on a joke means this absolutely kills. Number 4 is really funny. Number 3 is pretty funny. It gets some decent laughs. Number 2 is just okay, maybe 1 or 2 little snickers. And number 1, it kind of died. Now go through your act and go, this joke is a 5. But you got to be real. And sometimes it hurts to be honest with yourself. Sometimes I have jokes that I really love and I think they're funny, but I'll do them for the audience and they kind of lay there. But I don't want to blame the audience. So I'll give a joke 3 times in front of 3 different audiences just to see how it works. Young, older, and oldest. Because sometimes it's about rewriting it or saying it a different way. However, with this system that I'm giving you, 5 is the best, 4, 3, 2, 1. You got to be your own worst critic. And then you look at that, and then Gene Parrott told me, now, Scott, only keep the 4s and the 5s. Throw out all the rest of the jokes. Now, if number 3, if you marked it as a 3, you go, it kind of gets a pretty good laugh, but it's a good segue to the next joke that gets a 4 and a 5. Then go ahead and keep it. But you have to edit yourself. And, and some of these guys, they're doing jokes that I'm working with, and they keep doing the same thing, and the joke's not getting a laugh. And sometimes I just did a show with a young lady. She was funny. She was getting good laughs. But while she was on, I wrote down some of her jokes and I kind of tweaked it for her. And I said, and I actually made it a little bit funnier. I'm not trying to say I'm all that, but I did.
No, your experience.
Well, there you go. Experience. And then afterwards, I told her, I said, if you do the joke this way, I really think it'll get a bigger laugh. Well, she wasn't interested. And the next time I saw her, she did the joke the same way she's been doing it, and it's not getting any laughs. Or I'll see a comedian who has a real long setup before they get to the punchline. Right. And I said, look, let me do your joke right now while we're off stage. The show's done. I go, let me do the joke you just did, but let me do it my way. And maybe their joke had 50 words in it, and I got it down to like 10. And boom, I got right to the punch quick. You want to try, Shakespeare says, what? Brevity is the soul of wit, right? Keep it real short. Yeah. If you can. I know a lot of comedians, they're not one-liners like me. They're more like a storyteller like you, which is fine. But again, you got to get rid of some of those extra words that you don't need, because you ever had someone tell you a long, long joke, and by the time they got to the punchline, it either wasn't funny or you lost interest?
It didn't pay off. Yeah, it didn't pay off.
It didn't pay off, So just try to really, again, write, get in front of people, be your own critic, and it's a marathon. Again, some comics go, I'm going to give myself 5 years, and if I'm not on the Tonight Show in 5 years, I quit. Or if I'm not a headliner in 5 years, I quit. Well, then you might as well quit now. Right. Because I've been doing this for 32 years, and the greatest in the business, from Jerry Seinfeld to Jay Leno, they've all said the best comics in the business are the ones that have been doing it more than 20 years, 25 years, where you go to their show at the comedy club. And when you see these guys I just mentioned, the Brian Regans, the Jay Lenos, the Seinfelds, it just flows from their mouth. Like they're just having a conversation in their living room, because they're pros. because it's tried and true, because they've done it. They've erased, they've edited, they've reworked it, they've added it here, they've taken out there. Some comics you can either learn from it or you're not going to. So it's all up to you.
That's amazing. That's a great advice. But, we're almost done, but I want you to tell me a little bit about your dry bar special that's coming out in January.
Well,
How
we're
was
real
that?
excited about that. Yeah, so many great things are happening besides Something Smells Funny. About maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, it's taken them quite a while, but I know they were backlogged. But my new dry bar special called Mr. Punchline is going to be released in January. That's going to be nationwide, as you know, on Facebook, on drybar.com. It's all over. I think you did one, yes or no?
I did it. I started actually this quarter. I got paid. I got a nice check finally after they
Finally.
paid themselves. But I got over like 1.5 million, and 1.5 million on another
Great.
million, about 3 million. So it's gonna do a
Nice.
lot for you. Now, when you taped it, was that during COVID?
No, we did it in early
Oh,
2019.
so you had
And
a great audience.
oh yeah, and they've shortened it since then. I did 2 40-minute sets. And they do 2 comics. So I did
Right.
40 and he did 40. They take a break. The second audience comes in and then you do it again. And then, of course,
Right.
they do the best of, as you know, from both shows. They edit it down. But yeah, I'm really
Exactly.
excited. So this January, look for my dry bar special called Mr. Punchline.
And again, as we're closing, how can people get a hold of you to book you?
They can get a hold of me like either this or this. My wife does a lot of this. No, you can, here's the office number, 951-642-4165, 951-642-4165. That's the office number to book me. You can go to Clean Comic, CLEANCOMIC, Clean Comic at hotmail.com if you want to email me. You can always find me on Facebook at Mr. Punchline or Scott Wood. You can DM me there. And on Instagram, it's King of the Clean One-Liners, but it's a number 1. It's not ONE, it's a number 1. King of the Clean One-Liners on Instagram. But just call the number and I'd love to come out and do a show, and I'm cheap and I'm easy. So don't worry about the money.
And then again, if people want to get a hold of Tubi to let them know to
Yes.
promote more shows for the Something Smells Funny is PR@tubi.org.
TV. No, PR at
Tub-
tubitv.com.
Okay,
So,
PR@tubitv.com. They
yeah,
can
PR.
that
Yeah, there you go.
and where can we watch the shows on Tubi TV or
Tubi.
where
Yes.
can we?
You can stream them on
So-
Tubi, and I think it's also on the Roku. But if you go to Tubi TV on your phone, your laptop, anywhere, it's a free app. It's a streaming network. The app is free. It doesn't cost anything. You can upload it on your smartphone, your tablet. We watch it on TV. We just go to regular cable. You'll see Hulu, Netflix, and then there's Tubi. But if you don't have it, it's a free app, and you can just upload it. And all that is on my Facebook. On Something Smells
Perfect.
Fun, there's a link. They can click on that, and it'll take them there, and they can just sign up. And there's no money. And for all of you who have seen, Bobby Miller, thank you, Bobby. Bobby posted PR. No, it's Tubi TV,
no.
Bobby. He missed the TV.
PR@tubitv.
At tubitv.com. Bobby, you're fired, Bobby. We love Bobby. We love Bobby, Sarah, Alan, and everyone else who's on the show. So PR@tubitv.com. If you love the show, let them know, because I'd love to do some more. I want to get paid. I've had my eye on something called Meat.
Thank you so much, Scott. You're amazing. It's always fun, never boring around you, and your shows are always killer. So thank you so much. I look forward to work with you again very soon.
Absolutely.
Thank
You
you for
too,
your
Naz.
time.
I hope we get to get together soon. Thank you, sir.
We will send my love to Yanni and your kids.
And you
Thank
too, to Maha and the kids and everyone, man, because you've been a good brother in the Lord and a good friend, and you've booked me on shows, and I appreciate all. May the Lord bless you in everything you set your hand to, my friend.
You as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
That was Scott Wood, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we want to thank you so much. Want to remind you that at 8:30 p.m. tonight and every weeknight we are on Facebook under Comedian Nazareth. you get to watch the Life with Naz, an hour of laughter and encouragement. And we'll see you then. Again, just to be faithful to my sponsor, I want you to know that if you do want to protect your immune system, if you want to have more energy, have more focus, these professional botanical vitamins, they have enzymes that will help you, this your body to really take advantage of these vitamins, not just flow through your body. So if you go to b basic baesiq.com/pages/Nazareth, and you can get either individual bottles or packages, of three, that really helps your immune system and gives you energy. And it's free shipping. If you put my name Nazareth, you get free shipping. Again, thank you so much. I appreciate you watching, all 75 people, and all the ones that gonna download it and hear it on Apple, iTunes, and Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all these other channels. Thank you, guys. Love you, and we'll see you very next week.